Seattle is among the country's whitest cities, and against that backdrop is Yesler Terrace, one of its most stable majority-minority communities. Seattle's population is 66.3% white, but Yesler Terrace is 11% white, 42% Asian, and 44% Black. According to an article by Daniel Beekman in Seattle Times, more than one-third of the 493 families living in Seattle's Yesler Terrace public housing project are now living elsewhere. Another 130 families have moved into new or renovated public housing in the neighborhood, and 176 families have stayed in units slated for demolition but not yet gone. Those numbers are part of a Yesler Terrace update given to Seattle City Council. The $1.5 billion plus ongoing redevelopment of the nation's first racially integrated public housing project is the latest Seattle Housing Authority complex being turned into a mixed income development. Some studies have praised these efforts, saying they break up concentration of poverty. Others have suggested that these only benefit middle-class residents and developers. Yesler Terrace was built in the 1940s with low-rise apartments and small yards. Every original unit is being replaced with a new unit of public housing, and all the households being displaced are getting at least 18 months' notice and the right to return if they want to. Two King County Department of Natural Resource and Park interns spent the summer working with us. Omar Rabali and Johnny Doe are firstborn Americans growing up in refugee families. Johnny and Omar have a unique perspective on what it was like to grow up in Yesler Terrace and how the changing neighborhood has impacted them.
It has impacted me socially due to not being able to know who's around you. Being able to connect with people because they were lower income, you had the same struggles as them. Rather than now, you're around people who make $70,000 to $100,000 a year, and your family doesn't make close to that. And just being able to, you can't really start a conversation with someone like that without them not having the same background that you have had.
Well, before, I knew everybody knew me. Well, most people, not everybody, you know. There's no lock on everybody's door. Everyone was welcome, you know, to come around, walk around, and just, it felt like not like a prison. Right now, it just feels like everyone's confined to their corners, but before it was an open arms community.
Even though the neighborhood appears to be more modern, with greater density to accommodate growth, both Johnny and Omar do not feel this change was for the better. The cultural change has had a lasting impact on community connection.
Like I was saying, the confinement, so we're put in like our own quarters. You don't see half the people over there at Raven Terrace. I don't see any of those people. Like, these last 2 years, I don't think I've really seen the faces of them, much less talk to them. Because you kind of just drive up in your garage, you go to your room, and that's it. No one's outside. The parks they just built over there, really big, nice scenery, and absolutely nothing to do. So, yeah, there's not much going for us right now.
This new neighborhood, perched on 30 acres between downtown and the Central District, will have many more market-rate apartments than public housing units. There will be about 3,500 new market-rate units, some built by Paul Allen's Vulcan Real Estate Company. And the area will become much denser with larger apartment buildings. In addition to public housing and market-rate homes, the new Yesler Terrace will include about 1,800 slightly subsidized homes for low and moderate income families.